any sort of economic downturn in the world's biggest economy will obviously not be great for oil demand. Obviously, this contagion of a recession might spread to the second biggest economy, China, as well, which is one of the reasons why we see oil prices on the way down at the moment.
And what would you think the response be from players like OPEC, which we know have been cutting back on production, trying to keep those prices high? We know that the Saudis, for instance, want prices around $80 a barrel. They just keep moving further and further away from that level. So what would you think would be, I guess, a response when it came to policy from the likes of OPEC?
I think OPEC is left with very few choices, really. As you say, they really need prices to be more towards the $80 a barrel level. But at the moment, you know, because of US production, because of the weakening of demand, with all the talk about recession, they're just having to keep these cuts in place. And if prices stay below $60 a barrel, they might have to enact deeper cuts for longer. So the choice really for OPEC at the moment is to maintain a cap on their production or even reduce that further.
Okay, Dan has a question for you.
So, Reza, I want you to unpack that a little bit more for us. As we come into the JMMC meeting in Abu Dhabi, do you think it's likely that we will hear some kind of jawboning from Saudi Arabia and other major players when it comes to prices? Or do you think that this price action that we see right now means it's necessary for them to actually make a move, to deepen those cuts, as you say, and to extend the deal beyond, perhaps, the first quarter of 2020? If they did so, how much more could they cut?
I think it's important to realize that the price move below 60 last night was probably helped by short-term factors such as the US inventories. Obviously, there was a build of about 1.6 million barrels, which is a substantial build, and that pushed prices below. But obviously, we've had around the $5 drop from the time when President Trump threatened further tariffs on China. And that will not be good news for OPEC, and it's certainly going to be on their mind as they meet in their next monitoring meeting. I think that, as I say, they really have no other choice but to shore up prices by cutting production further if they don't want prices to, if this trade war persists and gets worse, obviously all markets will be driven by sentiments, and if OPEC wants to stop and stem the weakening of prices further, the choice is really to cut production further for longer.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.